I'm gonna do something a little different today. Actually, let me make sure this music is not. Make sure this music not. Alright, so but I turned it off, so I guess it doesn't matter. Should I leave it on? I'm gonna leave it off for now. So what I'm gonna do is I already put a video, like I already have a video up with the entire thing written out, but I feel like most people, if they even see that, they're probably not gonna read that. And plus, me talking over it, the things I was saying over it probably take away from what I was actually expressing. And plus, I feel like when I type things out, when I write things out, I usually express them better than me actually speaking. So I had the idea, why don't I just read what I wrote? So that's what we're gonna do today. Where can I find my thing? I hope I don't have to download Word. I don't. Okay. If it were to be true, as individuals we had no free will, would it not be imperative to act with intention to affect the system as well? It's not every single action you make, even if you were technically already going to make it, still not relevant to the whole, because each person within the whole is affected. If I am negative towards a certain group of people, do I not perpetuate that me or my group are enemies to them for something that neither of us had any real choice in? You do not control how you feel. You regulate it once you feel it. You express it. It is not a very perception, just artistic expression of steady systems that are not truly in our control. If everything that is follows all the same rules, and everything that happens because something before it took place, is not every part of that system essentially one and incapable of differentiating from itself? Are we God experiencing itself? Are we just little pieces of everything? I understand that I'm a product of conditions. I understand that I'm a result of particles, vibrations, electricity, fusion, genes, hormones, cause and effect. We are cosmic dominoes. Do we not have a responsibility to the future? Are we not responsible for changing perspectives and making the pattern better for future generations? Is it not our responsibility as the intelligence of the universe to focus on understanding of both ourselves and the universe which we are bound to? Everyone is different, has different perspectives on life, but that is exactly my point. How are your actions affecting the whole? Are you perpetuating a way of life that leads to destruction of the collective or your people? Is not understanding yourself or how the world and the people around you affect you, and in turn how you affect it and those around you, not the most important thing in life? If, for example, something as small as how you make somebody feel with a text in the morning cascades into them starting their day with a positive attitude or the opposite, and whether or not they boosted that positive or negative energy by if they felt like they wanted to eat or what they eat, then follows into their day with them being either highly motivated or dysregulated. It's not every action you take with the knowledge that it can affect the whole for better or worse in some way, not the most important part of life. Our determinism, the doctrine that all events, including human action, are ultimately determined by causes external to will. Some philosophers have taken determinism to imply that individual human beings have no free will and cannot be held morally responsible for their actions, and intention/free will truly mutually exclusive. It's just because I was always going to do something change the perception of that thing to an individual who views it as an isolated event. Now let me expand on that. So, if we are changing, matter of fact, you coming across this video, me recording this video, if me recording this video was something I was always gonna do, but you perceive that as something that I just have, like, that's a bad example. better reason for it. You're a stranger. I woke up to you, I give you $10 for no reason. I just woke up. I don't say nothing, I don't greet you, I don't say bye, nothing. I woke up to you, I give you that $10, I go about my business. You're gonna look at that as a weird event. Why did this random person just woke up and give me $10? But if I already had in my head, yo, when I go outside today, I want to give somebody $10 just out of the kindness of my heart, just cause. It don't matter who it is, just the right person. Whenever I feel like I'm gonna give that person that dollar, or maybe I had a legitimate reason, maybe somebody told me to do it, or whatever the case may be. If I was already going to do something, but you don't know the reason why I did it, are you not still gonna have your own perspective on why I did that, and then that affects you in however way? Because you still have the $10, you still have the results of whatever action I took, but you don't know why that happened in the first place. If I was always going to do something, but you view it as an isolated event. If I came out my house in the morning and by nighttime I gave you that $10, you never knew that I was about to give you that $10. I never knew I was about to give you that $10, but I was gonna give you that $10 because I decided to come out my house and give somebody $10. You view that as an isolated event. So one random evening, some random nigga pulled up to you and gave you $10. But to you, that is a random event. You don't know why that happened, and you don't know how you should think about that. You don't know, and you probably won't even contemplate that. But I left my house with the intention to give you that $10. Not to give specifically you that $10, but again, I believe in determinism. If I gave you that $10, I was just going to give you that $10. That's what was. You know, perfect example. Because of the person that I am. The person that you see in these videos, the things that I talk about, I am more willing to do things for people that I probably would not, most people would not do, right? So it's this homeless guy that's usually around the building that I'm staying in right now. And he's usually always asking people for $1 for a cigarette. And usually when he asks me, bro, I don't like cigarettes, bro. I will not buy you a cigarette for nothing. You could ask me for anything else, I'll buy you that. But today, well, not even just today, I'm constantly in this like back and forth. I'm constantly in this like war with myself of trying to be like present. I really don't understand this. I said it in the part, the last in the parts. I don't understand this. Like, I try to be grateful for it because on one hand, it's a gift and a curse. Life is a gift and a curse. That's it. Life is a gift and a curse, and I bounce back and forth on how I feel about it. Whether I feel like it's truly a blessing, whether I feel like it's a curse. It's kind of paradoxical because honestly, it's both at the same time, and I have a really hard time like dealing with that. But because I've been in that mind state, because I've been like kind of on a thing where I really don't know what I'm doing here, and I told y'all my whole thing is the cause and effect. I'm reading this for a reason. I wrote that, I typed all of that out for a reason. Like, I'm super into the cause and effect. So I'm like, you know what, bro? I'm gonna do that for you. I'm gonna not only buy you the cigarette, but I'm gonna buy you some coffee. I don't know why you want coffee. I wouldn't have bought nobody no coffee either. I would have bought you a water. But I said, fuck it. I'm gonna buy him the cigarette, the coffee, and something to eat. Fuck it, bro. Because why not? Right? Bought him all that. Cool. He doesn't know why I did that. He just think, yo, like, somebody doing it. They decided, oh, they gonna come out their pocket to do that. He don't know that's because, yo, I look at life the way that I look at life, and I think, yo, every little thing you do is important. Me doing that for him is gonna better his day. He's gonna be more. Now, technically, that's true and false. Now, I did him a service, but I also did him a disservice because, and again, that's a perspective thing. Because on one hand, you could look at it like, yeah, I did something for him that people were not willing to do. A lot of, even the cashier, he be looking at the nigga funny, like, but the cashier is he's a young guy. So he really doesn't like. He's not thinking how I'm thinking. So he's seeing me buy something for this, and he's like, "Yo, you really doing that?" He kind of laughing a little bit, kind of brushed it off. But I understand life. I know he doesn't see things the way I see things, and so he kind of looks at it a little like, I'm gonna do that. But on one hand, I bought him something. I did things most people probably would not do. But on the other hand, I bought him cigarettes, some fried food, empanada, and a coffee. None of those things are good for him. Now, the reason I never bought him the cigarette before, I even told him multiple times, yo, like, I'll buy you whatever you want. I just won't buy you any cigarettes. I won't buy you nothing bad for you. But now I'm at a point where it's like, all right, bro, if that's all you want, every time I see you asking for the same thing, it's like, all right, bro, I'm just going to give you that. It doesn't, well, I do that for them. And it's like, nobody's ever going to tell those kids, yo, why are you running down these birds? Like, why are you running and kicking at them and throwing shit at them, trying to kick the ball at them? Like, what's the reason for that? But they're never going to think that. Nobody's going to tell them nothing about that because no adults care about animals. But if there was an animal that was more dominant than us, that was above us, and they, yo, bro, you even got to think about that. Like, think about how many people really believe that they're above you just because of your skin color or how much fineness you have, things of that nature, and then they treat you like shit, and you didn't feel like it's okay to treat other lesser animals like shit. But then again, they're children. But still, it's people that are gonna say, yo, that shit doesn't matter. Do you not matter when niggas step on you and throw you scrims and little shit like that? It's like, come on, bro. I don't like that. Like, bro, I love shit like this, bro. Like, you would think, bro, that shit feel good, bro, to feed these niggas. Like, anytime I come on here, I have my little beef patty, nigga, and any little face that come on, bro, I be crossing that shit, so niggas keep eating shit like that, bro. Like, I care about shit like that. That's what I care about. Wait, nigga, I'm doing unnecessary shit that nobody care about. It's weird, bro. Anyway, back to this, right? Hey, bro. That nigga's comfortable with niggas, bro. Since when that nigga, yo, see, shit like that made me feel good, bro. You gotta love that shit. Baby bird woke up to you like it's your man. It's like just run right next to you. That shit feel good, bro. Feel good. That shit feels nice. Okay. I'll just start over. Everyone is different, has different perspectives on life. That is exactly my point. How are your actions affecting the whole? Are you perpetuating a way of life that leads to the destruction of the collective or your people? Is not understanding yourself and how the world and people around you affect you, and in turn how you affect it and those around you, not the most important thing in life? If, for example, something as small as how you made somebody feel with a text in the morning cascades into them starting their day with a positive attitude or the opposite, and whether or not they boosted that positive or negative energy by if they felt like they wanted to eat and what they ate, then follows into their day with them being either highly motivated or dysregulated. Is not every action you take with the knowledge that it could be make the whole better or worse in some way not the most important part of life? Our determinism, the doctrine that all events, including human action, are ultimately determined by causes external to will. Some philosophers have taken determinism to imply that individual human beings have no free will and cannot be held morally responsible for their actions. And intention / free will still going to do, whoa. And intention / free will is truly mutually exclusive. It's just because I was always going to do something, change the perception of that thing to an individual who views it as an isolated event. They just playing around me. Need that. Okay. Some philosophers, it's just because I was always going to do something, change the perception of that thing to an individual who views it as an isolated event. And if the majority of people view life as mostly isolated events, we're not working to achieve certain outcomes for the future and not still be considered.
Nice.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay. If I have a premonition and then that event comes to pass, would that not alter my internal perception of my actions, causing me to act in a way that, even though it technically would have always occurred to any individual within the same system as if it is intent? As far as the Christian stuff, I'm also drawing conclusions from a work of the past with current knowledge. It's just my interpretation, and every being is capable of having a different one. But consider the perceived ripple effect that work had throughout time, regardless of the original intent, and that it was always going to. Which is why I asked if it was as if we were just an expression of systems already in place. Our individual experience still lived and affected in the sense that we're incapable of truly separating ourselves from it. And you are right that what's most important is subjective, but should it really be so? Again, I understand what I'm asking. I say that to say, if we knew everything to be an inescapable cycle, but still lived it as though it were not, should not the total understanding of that cycle be one of, if not the most important things? I bring up premonitions because I've had them. Little dreams of my exact future, exactly as they were going to occur. Same location, same people, even a baby kitten months to a year down the line. I still remember that day, that cat. Brand new cat. How would I know that? But never before the dream, or between the time of when I awoke to when I experienced it, did I ever have the thought, this event is something that's bound to occur at some time. I just remembered it exactly as I experienced it. A friend of mine proposed that this déjà vu, as I found it's called some years ago, could be a moment in which you were able to change things because you have the knowledge that you had premonitions, which led me into these lines of thoughts. As far as the expression thing, I'll put it together. If our perception of life is purely a result of a string of stimuli, a specific thing reacting to another specific thing, is it not fair to say that our lives are just expressions of that system? Even the Bible supports this. Again, this is my own interpretation. From John 8. You do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication, we have one Father, even God. Jesus said unto them, if God were your Father, ye would love me. For I proceed forth and came from God. Neither I came of myself, but he sent me. You are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Jesus answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is a servant of sin. Jesus said unto them, when you have lifted up the Son of Man, then shall ye know that I am he, and that I do nothing of myself, but as my Father hath taught me. I speak these things, and he that sent me is with me. The Father hath not left me alone, for I do always those things that please him. I am one that bears witness of myself, and the Father that sent me beareth witness of me. And said they unto him, where is thy Father? He answered him, you neither know me nor my Father. If you had known me, then you would have known my Father also. That's almost exactly what I was saying. I think the Bible might just be about understanding your place in the universe. The Father, like I was saying last night, I wrote this over time, and part of it was like, it was sent separately, but I put it all together. But I was delivering to people. The Father, like I was saying last night, is the universe, and when he's referring to other people's fathers, he's talking about both literally and their emotions, more specifically their desires. Eve realized she was naked because she kept seeing Adam's serpent, which is why the clothes were necessary, because he, by nature, cannot help. Cain is just a jealous man who let his anger get the best of him because his food would not grow, but his brother had meat. The Garden of Eden is literally just earth. Turning water to wine is changing your perspective. They did not stone the woman because there is nobody who is truly without sin, desire, either temptation or acting. Which is why, with what we know about the world now, as far as psychology and things of that nature, physiology and things of that nature, we know a lot about how the world works and how our bodies work and how our minds work. Which is why what we know about the world now, acting with true attention is imperative. Everything you do affects everyone, whether you believe so or not. So the more negativity we put out into the world, the more stronger it will get. You're essentially passing it on. Those who do not understand themselves so that they can control themselves will live in a state of hell for themselves and pass it on to others. And there's a chance we repeat these very same lies. That, or again, it is predetermined. But again, it doesn't feel so. So act with judgment. Learn about yourself and the world around you. Stop judging what you cannot understand. Learn more about anything you do not understand. Treat people how you would like to be treated, especially young people, as it gives them a chance to develop into people that spread that even more. Everybody who transgress has the potential to spread it. A threat of any kind causes stress in the brain, whether you see that or not. That builds up and spreads, so understand that the people you are dealing with at all times and educate them. So understand the people you are dealing with at all times and educate them if they do not know, or encourage them to do their own introspection. Be the change you would want to see in the world. Like literally be that. Exactly that. Even if you feel like you don't want to or it's hard, because if you give into that mentality, that spreads either through interpersonal relationships or through your bloodline, and that will become the future, whether you personally see that future or not. Hypotheticals. Finally, I pose you this. I asked, what if we are just an expression of systems already in place? What if people like me, or figures like Jesus, and living beings in general are just that system trying to understand itself? What if even existence itself doesn't know why it exists? Which is why things like black holes exist, concept unformed, or being born. What did I say that I believe about black holes? Being born. What if our purpose here is to develop the minds and people, or beings rather, that could collectively work to understand existence itself, and we are slowing down the process? What if that is the goal? What if we are God? Allah, arm, leg, arm, head. The name for God for Muslims. Under my framework here, are we not the body? The Atman, is that not the us behind the predetermination? Are we really just one mind consciousness across all beings shaped by those beings? But God is neither, or specifically what it stands for, its purpose, Jesus' purpose. Because what really is the best result for the question of why it exists, than to be with others and build reality. Honestly, while it cannot be proven, I genuinely feel like what I was building, because this is a separate day, I'm talking about everything prior to that, what I was building is true. Though that could just be my lived experience in the nature of consciousness, I do not treat people the way I do because of some God. Again, I don't believe in a human God. I believe in a universal God with no absolute answer to anything. I treat the way people the way I do because I know they are me. I say it all the time. We work exactly the same. You are who you are because of your experiences. I am who I am because of my experience. Your experience led you to be the type of person that would watch this video or not watch this video, or be recommended this video because you were associated with somebody who watched this video and recommended it to you, or you just watched the video. Terrible example, trust me. I'm aware of that, but it's an example nonetheless. I treat people the way I do because I know they are me, which is why I believe in such a God. Because all humans, all life in general, are the same but different. Every animal that exists is just the answer to their environment, evolution. Every human that exists is just the result of their experience. Every action a product of stimuli, cause and effect, domino effect, as above, so below. As above, so below. As above, so below. It's all just perfectly fits that idea. So my belief in God is just my literal interpretation on what it means to exist. Yes, nobody will ever 100% agree, but compassion and empathy keep those tensions from turning violent and spreading to others. Two friends in a disagreement will compete and argue. Two enemies in a disagreement will war. The following is a comment I made on a video I saw, but it fits well here. This isn't a race thing, it's a human thing. What you're expressing is exactly what you're supposed to be feeling, thinking, given the current state of the world, but you shouldn't. I know what I'm about to express is difficult to live by, but in reality, our world is fake. The systems we live by are completely fabricated. Frameworks put in place while we were trying to figure out ourselves and the world, and now that we know the nature of the world, but have no real purpose in it, or anywhere else to explore, we have, whether consciously or unconsciously, I believe the former, collectively conquered it. Those who feel life is inherently meaningless or just put themselves above everyone else, make their own meaning and do what they want with others. Whether they want renown, to own the future, to own the past, to control everyone and thing, be God, anything is fair game because nothing is truly unfair. Some of these people were able to see the patterns people followed in our history and optimize mental conditioning towards separation, submission, and targeted violence. Here's an example. You're a blank slate at birth. Let's say I'm a rich white man who believes himself to be better than all. Complete opposite, no particular time period. Because we're not talking about anything specifically from the past. I'm not talking about any specific event. I'm just giving an example based on what's actually occurred already, but not directly what actually occurred. So, okay. If I believe myself above all, then I'm especially above those that are different. You, little bad baby, should never experience my presence. You're not worthy. I'm gonna have to make this quick. You are not worthy. My phone's on 10, so I'm gonna just read this part and then we're gonna call it there. Yes, I be digging around movies, but really I don't really care. Where are you at? You, little black baby, you should never experience my presence. You are not worthy. In fact, nobody should. However, you can't change the world in a day, so I start with you. I teach you from young you are less than. I constantly show you your people's wrongs, their flaws. I paint them as the worst of the worst, but they're you, so you can't hate them fully, not yet. So I use my wealth to make them even more violent. Weapons, drugs, monetary inequality, less education. Now it's too much to ignore. Now you cannot see yourself in them. But I must always tell you that you are the them that I created. The them I created is all you can be, but the them was never truly real. A product of the environment that I created and put in your heads for my ends. I'm dying? Then I must teach anyone who will listen the ways. I cannot allow you my ways. I cannot allow you to experience my pleasures even after my death. So to my peers and children, I paint you as the monster. Flatter them with we are the gods of the world. Empower them. I share my wealth and power with any who share and push my being. I'm heavily oversimplifying it as I only just woke up. Again, but this is essentially how you create a generation of racism. This is conditioning, training someone to think, believe, or act a certain way. Your self-hatred is manufactured. The war on drugs is a perfect example of this. Stay off social. Now I'm just like giving like examples of how you should like live in general. Because it's the reason I was even able to see these things, because I started stay on social media and things of that nature. They claim to be for connection, so I guess they need to do that at the bare minimum. But in reality, it's mostly for conditioning. They track who you are and what you like. To be clear, before you dismiss it, no, there are not individuals specifically seeking you out. Algorithm doesn't need to do that to watch and feed you. It's a system, a computer. It's not people. So they know what to feed you to try to create the ideas they want in your head, or just reinforce them. That's why I feel minors should have extremely limited access to social media. And the things that destroy our communities are put to them the most, because they are the ones that have to carry it on, and are blank slates that are constantly absorbing everything. If you don't teach kids racism, capitalism, vanity, promiscuity, etc. early, then they won't value it or upkeep it. And if you don't dull their brains, they'll have the capacity for critical thinking that would lead them to not be easily manipulated or controlled, or just finding their own ways of living in general. Do not hate anyone. Educate yourself on how they became that person so you can spot it and maybe help that person see their condition or prevent another from adopting that mentality. You are who you are because of your experiences, not your ancestors. That's just your physical characteristics. I could expand on that because that is something that needs to be expanded on, but I'm pretty sure like if you made it this far, you have enough sense to understand what I was trying to say. I would hope. Physical characteristics. But you as a person are completely based in experience. Our experiences, especially in more recent times, are heavily optimized and pattern driven. You are meant to either hate a false version of yourself or them. Don't hate yourself because you are you. Because of your experiences, you're the only one who could be, and you can choose what you want to identify with. That's basically what I say on this channel. Like, you can do whatever you want. You can be whatever you want. And the rest of this shit, people's opinions and other people's ideals, if that does not resonate with you, then you don't really have to uphold it. But you still have to stand on it. Choose what you want to identify with. Don't hate them because most of them aren't choosing for themselves. They're so well conditioned to conform to these stereotypes that they aren't even really themselves anymore. A hard way to look at it, but it's become genuinely true for some. I don't even look at people's race anymore. I just judge them off of whether they're even a genuine person. Most just do what's put in front of them and hope for validation or acceptance, and don't even want to do it or find joy in it. Just so desperate to conform that they don't even care to live a real life. They just do so others can view them a certain way. I lost interest in that game very early. This one's gonna die. So I'm gonna clarify that on the close out. Do I need to clarify that? Do I need to say more on that? I'll put that in. Oh yeah, it makes it seem like I'm painting people as attention seekers, which to a degree I am. To a degree that's true. But everyone's an attention seeker, honestly, in some form or fashion. Most people are attention seekers in some form or fashion. It also determines like if you have a threshold for it, like if you think a certain amount of attention seeking is like normal, which I guess it is too. Perspective. Two things that leave you, but I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna just let it die because as you can see so far, I'm just recording and dropping a video. But I really don't want to edit. I feel like editing is kind of disingenuous because it's like you're not seeing me. Because on one hand, like I'd rather you see everything, like the pauses, when my storage run out, when I cursed, how am I want you to see who I am at all times, so you can actually understand this person. Because, as I said, it's very easy to put somebody in a box when you're used to certain things being associated with certain things, and a lot of people aren't just themselves all the time. Like, it's even some stuff I would have rather just left out of some of them videos. Some of them shorts I got that I probably just shouldn't have posted, but I'm gonna do that anyway. Only things I leave out are things that I feel like, yo, I worded it so poorly that it's like you're bound to disregard everything, especially the most important aspects of what I'm trying to say, just because you don't like a certain thing about me or my past. I allude to certain things though, like even despite that. Not that I ever did anything truly like crazy, but it's just an understanding of who I'm dealing with, because I am making this, truthfully, I'm making this with the intention of as many people seeing it as possible. Although I'm not putting myself in the best position to have that happen with a lot of people seeing it. Generally, I want people to see these things. Like, I want people to see these videos. I want people to hear these perspectives, hear these thoughts. That's the entire reason I do anything that I do. It's the whole reason I printed out the whole thing. I literally was searching for it on my phone. Like, I don't have the physical copy. Bro, I made multiple copies of the thing I was just reading. And I carry them around just in case I see somebody that I feel like is gonna be receptive of it. You see how I just pulled those out and put them back in my bag just to go in my phone to pull it back up? Is that not crazy? Yo, sometimes I hate to think of what I look like being in my phone. Cause I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I be seeing people in their phone, especially when niggas is scrolling like TikTok and shit like that. That shit look weird, bro. Bro, if you ever sitting next to somebody who's not on your phone, but they on TikTok or something like that, bro, that shit looks really weird, bro. That shit is like, yo, bro, that shit causes like a cognitive dissonance. Bro, I hate like that I have like this a cognitive dissonance. It has like, bro, that shit is weird. That shit feels very weird. Other people specifically, obviously not the people, everybody scrolls on their phone, but like to not be on your phone and be next to somebody who is on their phone scrolling through some shit like TikTok, bro, that shit feels weird, bro. That shit feels super weird, bro. That shit feels super weird. Especially when you can tell they're not even like registering anything. Like, not to say that they're not paying attention, like, but it's like, what do this mean to you? Like, are you taking time to really think about, like, it's going so fast that you, a question like, are you even like paying attention to what you're consuming right now? Like, I don't know. It's really weird. It feels really weird. Two things to leave you, and I guess it's two things to leave you with is, hopefully the phone don't die. Be mindful of your wording. Assuming your intention is not the very conditioning I'm talking about, then consider what this rhetoric sounds like to a younger person who may pick up on that. It makes sense to hate myself, besides my people, or white people. The world is a racist. I didn't continue, but brother, that rhetoric sounds very crazy, and the child hearing shit like that, like regularly, is gonna put in their mind that they should think like that, or that they should investigate that more. And when you investigate that more, it breeds hate in the mind. Detach, insert superficial divide here, i.e. race, finance, education from everything, where possible, obviously. Again, this is a human problem. Just us being in the black community makes the black issues more apparent, but every race has this problem in their own way. Don't hate the black people that just don't know or care to do better. They were literally made that way. A lot don't actually have a choice despite what the world might make it seem like. Some people are just predestined for certain lifestyles because of their environment. It's literally unavoidable now unless we change society on a grand scale. Even then, we've been living like this for so long, it often feels impossible. But with enough people, it's not. Most individuals say, I can't do anything, but we are not individuals in isolation. We are a community. Harm does not stay contained. What happens to others eventually happens to us, our families, our children. We're trained to not care until it's ours, but by the time it is, it's usually too late. That's how cycles continue. I'm not asking anyone to burn their life down or run into the streets. I'm asking for the smallest steps. Start conversations in your circles. Stop dismissing things as not that serious and share ideas with people who already have reached. You don't know who reads your words or what sticks with them. What you say to kids matter. What you normalize matters. Silence and apathy are neutral. They teach people how to live. Nothing changes overnight, but if we do nothing, nothing changes at all. Are we actually powerless, or are we just scared to be seen caring? I am in the firm belief that I am in the firm belief that all there is God. Both you and I, both good and evil, both fire and water. I believe despite our separation, we are still one, even as science supports us. Finally, I believe that what we all believe to be true will be true. I view our lives as investments. Each and every very conscious being has a say on what the world is. So what happens when you convince an entire society that their slavery is just how life is and they cannot change anything? There's more. There's more. Oh, but there's more. Oh my god, I have so much more, bro. This one. This one's about to die, so I can't even. But you know, I can start doing that. I can start. Bro, I could just read the shit that I have written down. Because honestly, I have like this thing where it's like, I am two different people. Like, three really, if you want to count this. But I feel like this is just an unrefined version of this. So I feel like, because of my experience, because I'm so used to being an other generally, I don't really know how to speak to people. Like, whenever I get caught in a conversation with somebody, I kind of feel like, what am I supposed to say to you? Like, what is there really for me to say to you at this moment? Or how do I respond to it? I find those are constant things. Like, anytime I speak to anybody, how do I even respond to it? Like, I don't know. It feels really like I really don't know how to talk to people. I literally don't know how to talk to people. And I'm so used to being in my head, like, the reason I can write shit like that, but speak the way that I do on these videos is because, bro, like, I understand this shit way better than I can explain. I said it in my very first video. Was that my very first video? That was my very first video. The Demons in My Asthma video, I think that was my very first video. It was actually my second video. It might have been the second one. I'm gonna have to ask niggas. Because my man's probably remember. But it was my first. If it's not my. Ooh, it's not my first video. My first video was within the first video. Semantics. I'm running around.